Hello my friends, welcome on this YouTube channel for my weekly whiskey review. My name is Dan and today from the oldest distillery on Islay I bring you Bowmore 18 years old single malt Scotch whiskey. The first distillery on Islay to receive a license, Bowmore was officially founded in 1779. But in fact, it wasn't until 1816 that John Simpson applied for a license to distill on the site. The whiskey from Bowmore Distillery is known for its smoky, sea salt and tropical fruits character. And when you think, wow, it's an Islay whiskey, you expect a lot of peat and phenols. But it's nothing like the type of Laphroaig malt, with the smoke being just one piece from a bigger puzzle. Also, because Bowmore makes so much whiskey, not all its whiskey is aged on site, which makes some of its expressions a bit less saline than other islands. This Bowmore 18 years old is part of distillery's core range, being bottled at 43% ABV. The whiskies used to make it have spent their time exclusively in either ex-bourbon barrels or in sherry casks. They are then blended together to create this single malt. The Bowmore 18 was released in 2007 to replace the Bowmore 17, having a higher Oloroso sherry cask mature percentage in its blend. In Bowmore's core range, you will find 12 years old, 15 years old, 18 and 25 years old expressions. So yes, a decent range where to choose from, and all carrying an age statement. Even most of the rare or limited release expressions carry a vintage or an age statement, which I think is remarkable. The Bowmore 18 years old has a rich bronze color in the glass. Yeah, a little darker than the 12 years old one, but a little lighter than the 15 years old. Not entirely natural because some color has been added. Price-wise, you can find it for 70 to 80 pounds per 700 ml bottle, depending on the retailers. As I already mentioned, Bowmore was born in the 18th century, and a distillery that old has not just stories, but myths and legends surrounding it. And while this whiskey is still opening up, I will tell you a short story or a legend. In the 18th and 19th century, the population in Scotland was quite superstitious, and the church in the village of Bowmore was constructed with curved walls in order that there be no corners where the devil could hide. One night during a storm, the villagers noticed a strange shadowy figure at the rear of the church, and this was identified as the devil himself. After a few moments of panic, the devil has been chased out of the round church up at the top of the high street and down into the Bowmore distillery, where the devil disappeared. One of the villagers noticed a small steamship pulling away from the pier, carrying newly filled casks of whiskey. They believed that the devil escaped hiding in a whiskey cask, and disturbingly, the steamship would never reach the mainland. An interesting story indeed. And the distillery chose to use this legend to name a series of small batch limited editions, the Devil's Cask, which were available a few years ago. Now back to the glass for the smell. First impression, dark chocolate and caramel, not peat smoke. Complex, dark and creamy. The peat comes second, and also the sherry notes on the same level. Quite smooth and well balanced. Less floral than the 15 years old, but with more fruitiness. Blueberries, red grapes, and blackberries. A mixture of sherry and bourbon casks. And again, a smoke, gentle smoke, soft peat, not dominating, in a very good balance with everything else on the palate. Slightly sharp, salty smoke, and wood, all as a first impression. The smoke is here, but soft and friendly. Those 18 years spent in the cask made it like that. Then we have an explosion of dark fruits and berries, blackberries and blueberries. A nice symphony of aromas and flavors with sherry notes, oily, quite sweet, with some oak spiciness towards the end. The finish is quite short and weak, with some smoky note, and I think this is the weakest link in the nose, taste and finish chain. Good whiskey, a bit weak at 43% ABV, and that's why I'm gonna give it 8.7 out of 10. Yeah, just under the 15 years old. I believe that the 15 years old is more complex and it will give us a better value for money as well. And older does not mean necessarily better, remember that. I still think Bowmore is the peated whiskey for those who don't like peated whiskey, as the smoky phenolic influence is less in your face than some of its Isla's neighbors. So yes, if you want to explore new flavors, Bowmore can be a very good choice. Thank you for watching. There is more to come in the next weeks, so stay close. Slanjava.